Media companies in pro wrestling, they can help the majors and they can help the indies. They can help all facets of the community, but there's one group that we need to talk about. There's one that doesn't quite follow the moniker that you would expect. RWM is a pro wrestling media group that started in May 2019 and is owned and created by Ryan Loves Whiskey. Ryan is the owner of not just RWM but also XHW and his clothing brand Uzitas. To most people in the community, when they see the Fox-inspired Roblox-Wrestling media graphics, it's a fairly innocent and there couldn't really be much wrong with it. That's where you'd have it all wrong, because Ryan is known for censoring others, getting into drama, having a gigantic ego, and a lot more that you just wouldn't know. Now, as of this recording, RWM is and probably will be the biggest pro wrestling media company to exist in this current era. However, I'm going to tell you why this is going to be a terrible thing for the community. First things first, let's talk about the good and the bad. RWM is an extremely active media Twitter account that consistently posts about pro wrestling. Their news articles lets you understand what's happening in the community in just a few sentences or paragraphs. Since they only cover their sponsors, you'll be informed of all the RWA feds and a few indies. You may not know who's the current champion or what pay-per-view is happening in a federation, and RWM will let you know who. With that being said, pay attention to what I said because it's the RWA and a few independent promotions. That's about it. If you scroll through RWM's Twitter page, you'll notice that there's a very select few groups that they've chosen to tweet about or they've chosen to partner about. There isn't much diversity and it's basically a walking advertisement for the RWA, and I guess a rebuttal could be RWM Independent, which is the same as RWM but designed to promote the independent scene. However, their account is still being accessed, yet they kind of are just only retweeting and retweeting. And when I tell you that all of Ryan's accounts are just botted retweets of the RWM posts, I'm not lying. Now, to clarify things, they only cover media that they've been partnered with. They've released an article entitled RWM Dark where they cover companies outside of RWM, and you've got feds such as CRW, WWS, RPW, and AXW in here, but in my opinion, it's not inherently wrong to cover only sponsors. But when we're talking about Ryan specifically, I don't know if this is the best idea considering this guy has an incredible ego, so let's talk about that. Ryan is not very humble about a lot of things. He has to constantly remind people that he's the biggest media company to ever exist. The RWM Twitter account at one point had a ridiculous amount of the community blocked for saying the most mediocre negative things about it. The point being that if you say one negative thing about Ryan, he'll probably block you. And I've been personally blocked, you've been blocked, we've all been blocked by a Roblox-Wrestling media account, which is crazy. Now, when you have a large following, your actions are important because that is a precedent for the future. Now, there are other media companies, but Ryan is notably one of the biggest ones. You know, I'm retired and I don't really care if I'm blacklisted, and I can already tell if Ryan sees this video, he'll probably never mention any of my works or mention my name again. But, you know, maybe he'll be blocked on Twitter. It is what it is. My point is, if you're controlling a media group, you shouldn't have a gigantic ego and you shouldn't be promoting censorship like this. I could go on, but let's have someone explain a real interaction they've had with Ryan. Italian Dream.
Hey, so, I remember a time where I messaged Ryan. I can't remember what it was about, but there was a bit of back and forth between me. I believe he messaged me first, advertising his federation to me. I said no. We had a bit of back and forth over that. He said that DCW was a small federation. Said that basically we were worthless, small compared to him. He kept on using like literally the stupidest terms. And then he pulls out of nowhere like some Darth Vader monologue where he goes, "Join me. We can rule." It's so cringe. It's terrible. He tries getting on my good side. Tries saying, okay, no, wait. I wanna help advertise DCW. I wanna help advertise EWU. He talks about how he was such a fanboy of mine back in. He says CCW at first, and I was like, I was never in CCW. And he was like, oh, sorry, VTW. And at that point, I blocked him because he is one of the biggest suck-ups I've ever met. And if he changes, I will gladly retract that statement. But he has not changed. He still proceeds with this notion that sucking up to everyone means that he's successful and that pro wrestling media is so successful, even though he probably has more blocked people than he has more people following the account. To sum it up very briefly, my last experience with Ryan Loves Whiskey was a negative one, and I don't believe he has changed, and I wouldn't know if he has because he has me blocked. That's okay. I hope he has a nice life. Maybe he'll change for the better, but as of now, I highly doubt it.
Ryan will continue to run RWM and will continue to censor and suck up to the people in community he needs things from. He's gone on to have terrible interactions with people that inflate his ego in every interaction that he has, but in spite of himself, RWM sponsors will continue to suck up to him because RWM is just simply the biggest media company. If the community follows the account, the federations will constantly try to get on it. It really sucks because once you're in his fascist media group, you're under his dictatorship. Now, of course, that is a bit of a stretch, but my main point of RWM still stands. Now, I know this video is a bit harsh, but I think if Ryan does watch this, or if you guys watch this, it's just a kick in the face, because that's something that needs to be done. We can't keep having this in the community. This is the problem. This is the negativity that's being surrounded. Why are we allowing people to censor things in this community? You can't have criticism? Come on, guys. Think rationally. And don't have an ego. And if you're gonna have one, don't go in a position of power. There's a way to solve this problem with not just Ryan, but every egotistical owner in this community. You simply just don't have to support them. Criticize them until you see change. Don't allow yourself to be censored, and just because you're blocked by a Roblox group, it doesn't mean you have to begin sucking up to them for your coverage, for your to get unblocked. It doesn't matter, you guys. It does not matter. But you know what does matter? Having a good and safe community, a community that doesn't have gigantic egos, that doesn't block people immediately, that doesn't censor each other, that listens to each other. But again, this community can only change that. We have the power to criticize and focus our attention on other people, and I don't want to see this on decline. You know, we've been talking about how wrestling is, quote, dying. I made a video on that. Hey guys, there's a solution, and I'm putting it out there. Just simply take control. Anyways, thank you for watching. We hope you like, comment, and subscribe. Basically, just fuck RWM.